Hello everyone, today I'm making a kind of a lazy video. This is the Breath of Wild weapon tier list, and as you can see there are a lot of them. I thought I'd make something like this because tier lists apparently are really popular on YouTube, and I want some lazy content because it's finals, and finals are ruining my brain, so I don't want to make an animation. At least I don't want to make it really fast. So we're doing this today. All the weapons are in compendium order, and we don't have any of the. Doesn't look like we have any DLC weapons, and it does. I can't English. And we don't have any of the amiibo weapons because I don't have those, so I don't think I'd be able to correctly rank them in a way that makes sense. So yeah, we're just going to be using these. Now, a brief explanation of how I'm going to be tiering this. D is for weak weapons, they break easily and stuff. Well, actually, here's the thing. I actually use a ton of glitches while playing, like weapon modifier corruption and durability transfer and weapon duplication and stuff like that. So, things like that are weird, but so I'm just going to kind of ignore all that when tiering this and just base it mostly on how long does it last, how rare is it, and how much do I actually like the weapon regardless of those other things. So, we're going to get into it. Right off the bat, the Master Sword. Again, I can use glitches to get it immediately, so that's neat. It's honestly one of my favorite weapons look-wise, and it's just super convenient to have. So that's an automatic S tier. I like it. It's a good one. It's a good weapon. Master Sword. Next on we got Stick. That's a D tier. Not doing. This is gonna be a while. Torch, also D tier. I mean, I know you can light things on fire with these things, so I'm gonna move it here. Low C tier. It's useful, but like I'm not gonna have it a whole lot. This is another D tier. Don't use it. They aren't super easy to find, unlike torches and sticks. And yeah, boomerang will go C tier, but below the torch because you don't find these a whole lot. I don't think, at least I haven't. And just in general, I just don't use boomerangs that often. I don't know. Hammer. This is super useful for durability transfer, but other than that, not. I don't really use it that much, so I'll move it there. It'll be below the torch, but above the boomerang. Traveler's Sword. You need this for a side quest, which is one of the most annoying ones in my opinion, because I only ever start doing it after I no longer need this weapon. But I kind of like its design, so I'm going to put it here. It's definitely above D tier. Soldier's Sword, kind of the same thing. It's useful in the start, but I don't really use it after a while. Anyways, Knight's Broadsword. I'm going to put this in low B, because it's better than like most C tier weapons, and I think it looks pretty cool, but I'm not going to use it once I get to like some of the other weapons on this list. Plus it has decent durability and attack damage, so I'm going to put it in low B tier. Royal Guard, no, that's just the Royal Sword. I'm going to put it in here. By the time you get to where I usually like to, by the time you get to where I am in Breath of the Wild, you get a lot of these, and these are just really useful. They're high attack damage. I think they have some of the highest durability in the game, plus they look super cool, so I really like their scabbards. Also, I apologize if you hear cars and stuff. That's just how my living is right now. Now, the Four-Star Sword. I know a lot of people really like this sword, and me myself included, but I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't get these super often. There are only like 4, I think, in the game. And I don't know, I don't like it as much as I like other ones, so this is gonna be low B tier because it's still pretty cool and it has okay damage, but I'm gonna put it here because I think I like the Knight's Broadsword more. Also, yeah, I'm doing this on Google Docs because I don't want to use the actual tier list thingy because then there will be ads. I don't want those. Now, the Zora Sword. I know this is super weak, like just barely stronger than the Soldier's Broadsword, but I really like how it looks, and just in general, I like Zora's stuff, and so I'm gonna put that there just because personal preference. puts that super high up for me. It's not an S tier weapon, but I really like it. I like how it looks, and I just like the Zora aesthetic in general. So yeah, that's gonna go there because I like it mostly. Anyways, the feathered edge is that I think is what this one is called. This one's pretty fun. Um, Again, you don't really find a whole lot of these, and they don't do a ton of damage. And I don't like them as much as I like some other weapon designs, so I'm gonna put them into C. Higher than the soldier's broadsword because I think it's stronger, but definitely lower than these two. This one will be kind of in the same spot, the Gerudo Scimitar. First of all, that's not a scimitar, that's maybe like a curved dagger, really. It's not long enough to be a scimitar. But it's cool, I like it. Moonlight Scimitar. This is one of my favorite, like, curved weapons in the game. I think I like it more than the next one that I'm going to be ranking, just because I really like its design. It does decent damage. You can find a good amount of these in the Gerudo region if you know where to check. And there is a consistently findable one in the Gerudo secret stash of weapons. So I'm going to put this into A tier, below the Zora Sword, because I think I like the Zora Sword's design more. But this one is definitely a super cool weapon, and I like it. Now this one. This might be controversial, but I'm going to put this here. Mostly because of its damage, it's stronger than a base Master Sword, and because of its sentimental value. But other than that, I'm not the biggest fan of its design. I think it's a little bit clunky looking, in my opinion. I don't know, that might be the Ema and me speaking, but this one's pretty cool, I guess. I don't know, I like the Moonlight Scimitar more. So, yeah. I'm still gonna put it in A tier though, so yeah. This one, I can't. It's like the sevenfold blade or something like that. I can't remember. This one doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. I like its design though. I really like the Japanese aesthetic of it. But you don't find a lot of these, and it isn't the strongest, so I'm gonna put it high C tier. Ancient Short Sword. I think I like the Guardian Sword design more, but this is still cool to have. I'm gonna put this high B tier because it has decent damage. No, it doesn't just have, it has really good damage, especially against Guardians. It's kind of expensive, so it isn't higher, but it's still really useful, so I'm gonna put that there. Rusty Broadsword. I'm gonna put this low C, because you can turn it into a better weapon if you can go to Rock Octoroks. So that's pretty cool. But base, it's super weak. It breaks almost instantly, and just barely has more damage than the Traveler's Sword, so I'm gonna put that there. This one, if it weren't for durability transfer, I would, since I'm disregarding that, I'm just gonna put this pretty low, because even though it has a ton of damage, it doesn't last very long. So I'm gonna put this high C tier, because it does a ton of damage, but it really only lasts just as long as the Traveler's equipment, which really isn't that great. So yeah. Its design is pretty cool, though. It's the same as the Royal Sword, just with a palette swap. So yeah, the design's cool. The Flame Blade, just the one-handed one. I really like all the elemental weapons. This one has a really nice design, though, and is really useful when you get it. So I'm going to put this below the Ancient Sword, but above the other ones, because it's pretty cool. It has decent damage. Plus, you can find these consistently after you level up the monsters high enough in the Colosseum where they just all have elemental weapons. So that's pretty cool. Frostblade. I'm going to put this higher than the fire one because ice damage is... just freezing enemies is super useful. I love its design. I'm going to put this low A tier because I don't think I like it more than some of the other weapons here. But it's really cool. No pun intended. And it's just useful. The Thunderblade will go right below that as well, because, again, lightning is better than fire damage, in my opinion, because it drops their weapon, and it also stuns them. I think ice is still better because of the 3 times damage you can do afterwards, but I really like the design of the Thunderblade too. I know it's not super practical looking, which is something I usually like in most weapons, but I'm okay with this one being a bit unpractical looking. I don't know why. Boko Club. It's kind of one of my favorite early game weapons for some reason, but it's pretty weak in every other place. So I'm gonna put this there. Uh, this will be low C tier. It's kind of for the same reason. This one will be a lot higher. I don't know why, but I really like how it looks. And it's got some pretty decent damage. Plus, it's useful to have a flammable weapon with you in case you need to start a fire or something. So I'm gonna put this low B tier, maybe high C tier. I don't know. I just like these Dragon Bone weapons. Diesel Boomerang. I'll put it higher than the normal Boomerang, but I just don't use these that often, and I'm not a huge fan of how they're looked. I'll also put these ones actually lower than that one. I'll put this one higher because it's useful for speed running, but I'm not a huge fan of its design. So yeah, the Liesel Boomerangs, not my favorite weapons. Boomerangs in general in this game are just not my favorite. I don't know why. They can do some pretty cool things. I'm just not a huge fan of them. So I'm going to put those on there. I don't like the design of this one compared to this one. So yeah, that's my reason. Guardian Sword. This one breaks really fast. So I'm not going to put it super high. I think I'll put it higher than these weapons. But below the Royal Guard Sword. It's useful to have, especially in the early game, because of its damage and its usefulness against Guardians. But it doesn't last very long. It's not super powerful. This one. I don't like its design as much, but again, it's super useful. Guardian Sword Plus. So I'm going to put that in the next level. Guardian Sword Plus Plus. Like I said, I think I like this better than the design of the Ancient Sword. Plus, it has the same damage. Able to go even higher because you can actually have modifiers on this one. So I'm going to put this higher than the Ancient Sword because I like the Guardian Sword plus plus design more, and you can possibly have more damage. I don't think it lasts as long, but I don't really care. Lionel Swords. Okay, this one's interesting. After learning how to fight Lionels, I end up with too many of these. Uh, mostly Crushers now, though. But when it comes to these weapons, these are super fun. I think I'll put this one high C tier because it isn't the strongest weapon, but it's pretty useful to have, even though it is a little bit difficult to get in the early game. So yeah, I'll put that there. Mighty Lionel Sword. I actually really like the design of this one too. But because it's not the strongest weapon in the game, and I usually don't encounter Mighty Lionels, I'm gonna put that in there. For some reason, it's just a jump from normal to silver or white, and then golden, because I have the DLC. Savage Lionel Sword. This is a immediate, I'm gonna say S tier even. Lower than the Master Sword just because of how convenient it is, but the Savage Lionel Swords are super useful. They have a ton of damage. They're, I think, the strongest one-handed sword in the game, unmodified, that isn't the Master Sword when fighting Ganon. So that's super cool. They're really fun to have, and especially when I do character cosplays in game, because I like to dress up for different reasons. I'm weird. I use this a lot for like I guess the barbarian look. I guess I don't know. It's super cool. It does a lot of damage, and at my skill level at fighting, I'm not a combat expert, but I don't know. Fighting Lionos is fun for me, so yeah, I'm gonna put that there. Now the rods. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't care about the rods. So I'm gonna put these probably on D tier because they really don't last that long and they don't have the best damage. I will place these ones in C tier, maybe this one and even higher because of how useful they can be. But I really just don't use the rods. This one can be useful for combos though, so That's nice. Eco weapons. I believe this is the Vicious Sickle. I don't know, this one's okay, I guess. Doesn't deal a ton of damage, so I'm gonna put it above the Gerudo Scimitar, but below. No, I'm gonna put this above the Sevenfold Blade or whatever that's called. Yeah, because I don't know, I like their design. It's pretty cool. Um, Plus you see these kind of weapons in like Egypt, I think, so it would be viable in my opinion in real life. So yeah, I'm gonna put that there. Demon Carver. I think I used to like this more. Now, not so much. I'm honestly gonna put this in low C tier or mid C tier because I don't love its design, and it does do a lot of damage, but I just don't fight the Yiga soldiers all that often, and I think it breaks pretty easily. So yeah, I don't like it that much. It is useful in a pinch though, so I'm gonna put that in mid C tier. Bone weapons. Just no. Probably high D tier. Actually, this one's kind of cool, so I'm gonna put that in there. Yeah. Korok Leaf. This one, just no. This one, also just no. Actually, no, that one. Woodcutter's Axe. Super fun to have in the early game. Not too useful outside. It can cut trees pretty quickly, so I'm gonna put it in really low C tier. No, high D tier. This one's pretty fun though, the double axe. Might be one of my favorite two-handed weapons to have mid-game because of how fast it can cut down trees, which is useful for the Terrytown side quest, and because it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna put that there, beneath Lionel Sword, but definitely above the Guardian Swords. I wouldn't say it's B tier or anything. It's just a fun weapon. This one's really useful against chalices and stuff. I don't tend to have the no. I always have one of these on me, just like with the Korok Leaf. So because of how useful they are, so I'm gonna put this in low B tier. They're fun to have, pretty useful. I don't know. Yeah, giant boomerang. Probably above the other boomerangs on this list, just because of its damage. But I don't know. I just don't like boomerangs. Plus, I've only really found like 2 of these in the game. I don't know. I don't like them very much. Traveler's Claymore. Um, no, probably higher than that. Definitely above the fishing oar. Definitely above all of these. I'm gonna put that, maybe even above that. I'm gonna put that there. Yeah, low C tier. It's also really fun to have in the early game, but I'm just not the biggest fan of two-handed weapons. Or at least I wasn't. I think I like two-handed weapons more now that I've learned some combat tricks. But I wouldn't say this is a B tier, especially not with compared to some of the other things in here. But I don't know, it's pretty useful in the early game. This one will be probably still B tier, maybe. I mean C tier, maybe low B tier. No, I'm gonna put that there because no, I think I like the Lionel sword more, but I definitely like it more than the double axe. So I'm gonna put it there. It's pretty useful with the Knight's Claymore or Soldier's Claymore. Plus, its design is pretty neat. I like that. Knight's Claymore. I found a whole lot more of these than I probably should have in the game, but they're not the strongest weapon. They're pretty fun though. I'm gonna put that in low B tier because double weapons just in general deal a decent amount of damage. But I think I like some of these other weapons more. In fact, I'm gonna move this around a little bit. Like, yeah, that's a bit better in my opinion. Come on, there we go. Royal Claymore. This is one of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion. Probably just high A tier though. Um, it's really strong. It does a lot of damage and has super high durability since we're disregarding all the glitches, like I said. And by the time you get to the level I'm at, you find a lot of these, so this is a really fun weapon to have. Next weapon, Silver Longsword. I don't like this one as much as I used to. Its design is really awkward to me. It doesn't deal the most damage like most of the Zoro weapons. I think I'll put it here in C tier because I've only ever really found like one or two of these, and like I said, they don't do a whole lot of damage. So I'm gonna put that there. I don't know. It's like the one Zoro weapon I don't really like that much. Which is kind of weird because I kind of like all the rest of them quite a bit. Goron weapons. These are really useful. They don't have my favorite design. Goron weapons, just in general, I don't like that much, and I can never remember the name. I think this one is the Cobble Crusher. I'm gonna put this high C tier. Super useful. Not my favorite design, but does decent damage and, like I said, super useful. So I'm gonna put that high C tier. Boulder Breaker, I think is what this one is. I'm gonna put this one even higher because, again, really useful. I might even put this above the Iron Sledgehammer because I would prefer this over the Iron Sledgehammer, even though Iron Sledgehammers have a 4 times bonus against Taluses. Because this one just deals more damage. It's really neat. I don't know. I like the design of this one. I'm tempted to put it above the Knight's Broadsword. You know what? I might just do that. This is a cool weapon. I like it. And then Daruk's Stone Smasher, or was that the second one? Maybe I think this is the Boulder Breaker. I think that other one was the Stone Smasher. This one is an automatic high A tier, probably below this one. Actually, no, above this one. Because again, Goron weapons are my favorite design, but it does a ton of damage and is two-handed, so that's really neat. Plus, it can break rocks really quickly, and is really effective against Taluses. So yeah, I think that might be one of my favorite two-handed weapons. You know what? I might put it below the Royal Claymore because there's only one of these, and while you can remake them and I can duplicate them, I think I like the Royal one more. So I'm gonna put that there. Golden Claymore. I don't like the design of this one, if I'm being blunt. Plus, it's not the strongest weapon. I think I'll put it high A tier. I think I like it more than the Silver Longsword, but definitely not any better than some of the other ones in higher tiers. So yeah, I'll put that there. Again, I forgot what this one is called. It's like a 8-fold long blade. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It has a really cool charge up attack, but because Combat Me is so used to spin attack, it's kind of disappointing when it doesn't do that because that's really useful for combat. It looks super anime though, so I might put it here. You don't find a lot of these though. That's another thing. It's really disappointing because I love the aesthetic of these weapons, but they're just not that common and not super useful, so sorry. Edge of Duality. Where's Blade? I think it's Edge of Duality. I really like this one. For some reason, I've just always liked the Edge of Duality. Low A tier for me. Because I definitely don't like it as much as some of the other weapons here, but it's just really fun looking to me. I don't know. I really like its design. Plus, it does decent amount of damage and lasts for a pretty long time, so I like it. It's a pretty cool weapon, in my opinion. Ancient Blade Saw. It's a freaking chainsaw. It's so cool. I'm gonna put that like here though. Yeah, I'm gonna put that there. Super useful against Guardians, because you can just make these. Again, pretty expensive, but I don't know. I can make infinite money, so in game, not in real life. So that's not an issue. Plus, infinite Ancient Guardian parts. I'm also gonna put this in low C tier because you can make them into stronger weapons. Worse than the broadsword in my opinion. Royal Guards Claymore. This one will be pretty high for the Royal Guard weapons. Most of these will, there are only 3. Most of these will probably be in C tier. This one does the most damage out of any weapon in the game that I'm aware of. Like, you can find in 116 damage of one of these in the base game. So that's super cool. So, yeah, I think I'll put that in lowish B tier. Love that for sure. Yeah. Great Flame Blade. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't pick up a lot of these when I see them. But they're definitely better in my opinion than some of these other weapons. I might put that there. Or that, no, definitely below those 2. Yeah, I'll put that there. Because out of them all, I think this one does the most damage out of the great flame, like, elemental weapons. Fire just does the most damage, but it has the least useful effect, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put that there. I don't know where the ice one went. I guess I just forgot that one. Well, the shock one will go into low A tier, and I'll just write Great Frost Blade right in front of it. Because, yeah, for reasons mentioned earlier, really. Anyways, Boko Bat. Definitely better than the club. Not the strongest weapon. Same with this one. The Dragon Bone one. I just don't find these ones that often, and I don't love their design. So yeah. I'm gonna put that there. I might move the arm lower. I don't know. Yeah. This one is better for sure. I'll just kind of randomly put it somewhere because I don't care too much. Probably there. No, here. Here? Yeah, there. This one. I don't know why, but I just really like the design of this one. Definitely better than the Dragonbone Boko Club for me. Maybe even better than the... I might put that there. Or even here. I might put that there. I don't know. I just really like its design, and it does a ton of damage. So I might put that there, even. Yeah, mid-B tier. It's pretty cool. I like it. I don't know why I do, but I just really do. Guardian X. I don't know. Definitely in the same tier as the other Guardian weapons. Probably higher than them, though. This one can go into low B tier because of how useful it is. And this one, definitely an A tier weapon. It is more damage than the than this one, the blade saw, but and also honestly easier for me to get. So yeah, I really like this one. Probably not more than the electro weapons, but I really like it. It's super useful against guardians. You can do the most damage in the game with this possible. Go watch Croton's video about that. He explains it in full. Because yeah. So yeah, so that one's pretty high in A tier. Low in A tier. Because I don't like it more than these ones, but it does a lot of damage and it's useful against guardians, so I'll put that there. Lionel Crushers. I don't think I've ever found one of these in the game. And I don't like fighting the Crusher ones as much. Actually, after learning how to fight them, I like fighting Lionels a lot more. I still might put these in low C tier just because of their damage. This one can be like high C tier. This one, however, S tier. This one's an S tier weapon. It's one of the easiest ways for me to get a super strong weapon in the game because I like fighting Lionels. It does. Oh my gosh, I can't stop hiccuping. It does so much damage. I love its design. Overall, it's just a really cool weapon in the game, and it's just I really like Savage Lino weapons. So I'm going to put that there. Definitely below the Master Sword. Definitely an S tier weapon. The Yiga Wind Cleaver, that's what it is. Again, it has that really anime charge up attack, plus it has a Wind Slice, so I might put it in low B tier. Because otherwise, I just don't find a lot of these. I don't like its scabbard very much, but it has some pretty cool properties and stuff, so I'll put it in low B tier instead of high C tier. This one will go with the other bone weapon, because I don't really care about the Moblin arms that much. Mop, no. I don't. I just never use these. Pitchfork. The low C tier? No. High D tier. Fishing spear. Most of the spears will be pretty low. I like their range, but they just don't deal a whole lot of damage, and I just don't use some of these lower tier ones that often. That one can go there. Throwing spear, it's made to throw farther, and throwing breaks a weapon immediately. I don't care that it's a critical hit. It's not that useful. I like its design though, so high D tier. I'm going to put this higher than some of my other spears because I actually like the design of this one. Plus, I use it a lot in the early game, more so than the clubs and stuff. So I'm going to put that there for those reasons. This one will be higher than that, but not much higher. That's Soldier Spear. Knight's Halberd, again, will be higher, but again, I just don't use spears that often. I typically have one on me, maybe two, but yeah. This one will be a lot higher, though, the Royal Spear, because these do a decent amount of damage, and like I said, I like to have at least one spear on me, mostly for horseback combat. So yeah, plus I like the design of the Royal Halberd. I'm gonna put that there. Yeah. Forest Dweller's Spear. Probably lower than the Royal Halberd, but definitely pretty high. I'll put that there. Because I don't like it as much as the Royal Dweller's Sword. Forest Dweller's Sword. But I like it pretty... I like it a decent amount. You don't find a lot of these, though. You don't find a lot of Forest Dweller's items. Zora Spears. I really like the design of these. They don't deal a lot of damage, though. Low B tier, in my opinion. High C tier. No, they're definitely not better than Lino weapons. Put that there. The Zora Spear. This might be one of my favorite spear designs in the game. Silver Scale Spear. Not that bad either. I'll put it higher than that, but yeah. I got rid of the Ceremonial Trident. This is the Light Scale Trident. Definitely my favorite spear in the game because of its sentimental value. I'm putting it straight into S tier because I love how it looks. Mipha is probably my second favorite character in the game, aside from Link. So, yeah. I don't use it a lot. That's not true. I always have it with me in my inventory because I just do. But I usually duplicate it if I'm going to do that. So, other than that, I just wouldn't use it because I don't want to break it. But I love its design. Probably don't like it as much as these weapons, but it's sentimental, and it has one of the highest spear damages in the game, which is useful. So, yeah, I'll put that there. Drill Shaft, one of the most useful spears because it can break rocks. I know this is Proton's favorite spear, but it's not my favorite weapon. I'll put that above the Zora spears, but below some of the other weapons. Pretty useful, though. I don't know. Not my favorite. Feathered Edge. No, Feathered Spear. Love its design. Not the biggest fan of spears. So I'll put that in, I don't know, mid-C tier. Definitely like it more than these Claymores. Probably even more than... No, definitely less than the Guardian weapons. I'll put that there. I like its design, though. I like the design of Rito weapons, but you mostly just get Rito bows. So, yeah. Golden Spear. This is probably my favorite Gerudo weapon that isn't the Scimitar, Moonlight Scimitar. I'll put this here. Yeah, those are fun. Serpentine Spear. I think that's what it's called. Probably still C tier. Definitely higher than these other ones, though. Actually, no, lower. Because I don't find these that often. Probably in between these two. I think its damage is higher, though. I don't know. I don't know. Ancient Spear. This one's super cool. I love its design. I haven't used it in a while, but definitely high B tier just because of its usefulness, especially against Guardians and stuff. So yeah. Rusty Halberd, super low C tier like the other Rusty weapons because you can turn it into better ones. But since most of the spears fall into D, C tier, I'm gonna put that in there anyways. Royal Guard Spear. High spear damage in the game, super low durability, high C tier. Flame Spear. Probably will go with the other flame weapons. Definitely about the Force Dweller stuff, so yeah. Frost Spear. Again, having a long range freezing weapon, super useful. I might put that even above the Great Blades in this one. Yeah, yeah. I just think being able to have elemental effects at a range is pretty useful. So yeah, these will be some of the only eight. I think these are the only A tier spears that I'll put in there because yeah. Yeah, because this only got high C tier. I'll put it in low B tier because I think I'll use it more often than that. Yeah, this one is super low. This one is also low, but higher than that one. This one also low, higher than that one. I don't use the spears of the monsters that often, and I don't like their design super much. That was good English. I can English. So I'll put these mostly in here. Yeah. These little spears are a different thing though, because I use them way more than I use some of the other ones. I might put that there. This one here. And this one. This one looks the least practical. I like the enhanced lethal spear the most design wise. I'll put that there though. Guardian spears. I really like these because of how useful they are for guardians. I still think my favorite guardian weapon is the guardian axe though, so I'll put that there. I'll put the second one higher than this one, and I'll put this one in B tier above that. Yeah, cool. Lino spears. These ones are pretty useful. I love how they look like a glaive. I think I'm saying that right. This Lino base spear, below the Zora spears, I love its design though. Plus it has decent damage. I just don't find spear Linos that often, and I don't know why. Yeah, I'll put that there. Mighty Lino spear, probably above the Zora spear. Definitely below Silver Scale spear. Don't know why, just is. Yeah, decent damage. Savage Lino spear. We've hit the end of the tier list. I'll say above the Royal Guard spear because I use it a whole lot more. Well, that went by a whole lot faster than I thought it would actually. So this was my tier list. I know a lot of you might disagree with me because, well, I have weird opinions on the designs of weapons and stuff. But yeah, definitely these are definitely my S tier weapons. I definitely use the Master Sword the most, definitely followed by like the Royal Guard Sword / Mighty Lionel Sword. So that's really cool. I love Zoro weapons. This is by far like my favorite one-handed weapons design. It's just not super useful. This one is also pretty close. Yeah, I think this is. I love this one too, though. I think that's why. Yeah, no. So yeah, this was my tier list. I wonder what do you guys think about this because yeah. Um, Can't believe Tears of the Kingdom is only a few days away. I think I might make a couple more of these. Maybe like definitely one for the bows, definitely one for the shields, maybe an armor tier list, and if we have time before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, we'll do a monster tier list. But yeah, this was fun. It's interesting to see how that didn't work. It's interesting to see what are my favorite weapons because honestly, I didn't know what would be at the top, or even in the middle of this list going into this. I'm surprised some of the weapons got so high, like the Korok leaf and this. But I'm not surprised that most of the beginning weapons got into here. Yeah. I don't know. This is all just my opinion. I'm interested to see what you guys think in the comments. So yeah, until next time. Bye.